prevent that ball from going behind for a corner. West Ham with this throw, which is taken by Ashby. At one point tonight, it looks as though he's going to be up against Gael Clichy, the Servette left-back, who's just agreed a new contract this week. And indeed, he was out training in the warm-up and was named in the starting 11, but he has been replaced late on by Valton Behrami, the 18-year-old. So, sadly, no reunion with the former Arsenal and Manchester City left-back. Elise. Good opportunity for him tonight. Picked up by Connor Coventry. Fornals. Elise. It's been away on loan at both Cambridge United and Accrington Stanley as well. Lovely footwork there by Lanzini. Benrahma. West Ham enjoying plenty of the possession early on, as you would expect, against a Servette side that finished 6th in the Swiss Super League last season. They did start the campaign in the Europa Conference League qualifiers, but were beaten by Norwegian side Molde. And that is a free kick to the home side. A late challenge in the end. Sending Dulin down to the ground. Elise knows he's got the chaser behind him there in the form of Chris Bedia, the Ivorian who leads the line for Servette. The right back here is Moussa Diallo. Elise's header backwards but not away. It nearly fell invitingly there. But not quite for the home side. An encouragement for them as they come forward really for the first time. Hammered in though. And in the end, no damage done to Łukasz Fabianski's goal. .37 now, the former Poland international. Dawson. Looking for the switch here to bring in Masuaku. It's a lovely ball as well. The Congolese wide man with that ball in, and West Ham win the first corner. It was well dealt with in the end, but we know how much of a threat West Ham can be from these kind of situations, especially when the likes of Dawson is around. It's going to be taken though here by skipper for this evening, Aaron Cresswell. Cresswell high, does meet the head of Dawson. Waiting is Benrahma. Saïd Benrahma. Well, they have plenty of players to try and beat there, and he's still going. Coventry. Cresswell. There's a good header away in there by Vuyo. Maybe a waiting game at times for West Ham this evening. Elise there didn't get the cover he wanted. And a chance here for new signing Patrick Fluke to run, but nothing came of it in the end. Signed from the Dutch second division. And Roda, where he scored plenty of goals last season. Servette bolstering their ranks in the off-season. Cresswell. Antonio. Hasn't seen too much of the ball yet. Lanzini. Despite the fact that Servette have had plenty more action in pre-season so far, you can see there's a clear gulf in quality between the two sets of players. And you would expect that most of Servette's opportunities would come on the counter. Diallo. Looking for the forward run here of Bedia, but it doesn't come to him. Cresswell. West Ham with such a good campaign last year, in tandem with that fantastic run in Europe as well, as they went all the way to the semi-finals of the Europa League before falling in the end to Eintracht Frankfurt. They did secure back-to-back Premier League top half finishes for the first time since the 2007-8 and 2008-9 seasons. With only won more points in 4 Premier League seasons before. 65 points won last season in the end. Very chilled atmosphere here as Nicolas Vuillot plays it forward. Diallo doesn't get there. Cresswell did. Masuaku. Inside by the Congolese, looking for Jamaica international Mikel Antonio. Well, it looks as though the ball had possibly gone out. Everyone stopped for a second, but they continue now. And picked up here by Konya. Fluker. Doesn't beat the first man in the end, and West Ham will break. Not too many numbers forward. Here's Lanzini. Approaching his 8th season with West Ham now, having joined what feels a long time ago now from Al Jazeera. Coventry, who was on loan at both MK Dons and Peterborough last season. More valuable experience for him in the second and third tiers of English football. And of course, there is a spot vacated now with Mark Noble retiring at the end of last season. Interesting to see where Flynn Downs sits in David Moyes' pecking order this season. Signed from Swansea, a boyhood West Ham fan though. It's a dream come true for him. Coventry. It was high. The sun was in the eyes there of Ashby, but he's done really well so far. Has he won a corner? No, he hasn't. David Moyes has plenty in reserve. No doubt most of them will be seeing some kind of action later on. Diallo. Bedia gets there first, ahead of Elise. Nicely set for Cognac. Fluker. Fluker again. It's nicely worked. Bedia. Well, the home fans liking what they're seeing there. The first time that West Ham looked in any real kind of danger of conceding. But it does remain 0-0. Nice interplay. Ball across into a good area, but Bedia had to really wrap his foot around that one to get it on target. And in the end, it went high and over. Antonio. Benrahma's the man in the middle. It's towards Saïd Benrahma. Not the tallest, but the ball is put behind. It's another corner to West Ham United. Short it goes. That went off a Servette head last. It's another corner on the other side this time. West Ham have a slight issue here. Dawson is down, but he's quickly back up again. Still plenty of fans trying to find a seat here. Corner didn't have too much on it this time. Lovely touch there by Cresswell. Elise. Cresswell. Coventry. Antonio doing what he does so well. Crowded out though, he had 4 around him in the end and stood next to no chance at all. Cognac. Servette do welcome back 1 or 2 international players tonight, but the likes of Miroslav Stevanovic, who is one of their key players, who assisted 16 times last season, is only on the bench. Moritz Bauer also among their substitutes, a former Stoke City player. Not too many other recognisable faces other than that. Ashby. The deflection taking it away there from West Ham. Elise has to get this challenge right and does emphatically. Masuaku. Coventry. A quarter of an hour gone here in Geneva. You would imagine there will be a pause halfway through the first half to get some fluids on board. Perhaps even before that. There is a strong breeze through the city. But it is still very, very hot down there. Fornals. Lanzini, who's been popping up all over the place so far. Fired into Benrahma. Dawson threads it beautifully. Ashby stands it up. Coming in was Benrahma. Diallo gets it clear. And Servette survive. Channel ball this time, looking for the run of Antonio, but beyond the front man. We heard about Flynn Downs yesterday. Alphonse Areola signing permanently as well, but Naif Aguirre also signing earlier this summer, the Morocco international centre-half. Big signing from Rennes in the off-season. One of the biggest talents in Liga last season. It would be interesting to see how David Moyes fits him into his side. They did have injury problems at centre-half last season at times, and he further bolsters the ranks. Angelo Ogbonna on the bench here tonight, having not featured since the start of November last year when he injured his knee against Liverpool. And good to see Benrahma back tonight as well, having missed the end of the season with an ankle problem. Elise. Masuaku. Lanzini, too quick. And Konya chasing at his heels there. Dawson. Pablo Fornals just trying to find that ball inside. Tucked away by Dulin. Of course, such a versatile West Ham side, capable of playing a back four or back three. Masuaku and Ashby both given licence to fly forward down the wings here tonight. Ashby going in hard, but fairly. Some of the fans on the far side not too happy. Benrahma. Just skipping off the toes there of Masuaku. West Ham haven't really had a meaningful shot on goal just yet. Nearly half of this first half now gone. Antonio. He might have a go. He's made it hard for himself, and in the end, Frick was brave as he came to gather. Antonio did finish the season strongly with 2 goals in his final 3 appearances. 12 in all competitions throughout last season. And she became the first West Ham player to score 10 or more goals in 3 Premier League seasons. Diallo. Nil remains here at the Stade de Geneve. Stadium approaching its 20th anniversary. It's also a host for some matches back at Euro 2008 featuring Czech Republic, Portugal and Turkey. Really is in a picturesque part of Europe, though, with the mountains surrounding us here. Weir, Swiss under-21 international. Elise having it back here from Lanzini. West Ham looking very comfortable, just no real penetration as yet. Certainly through the centre. They've got in out wide a number of times. Lanzini. Cross in, but Dawson was there. Now Antonio. 3 forward here for West Ham. Fornals, Benrahma the third in the trio. It's towards Saïd Benrahma. Nice pick out. But the first touch from the Algerian was loose. West Ham keep moving the ball, though. A good tempo to their play so far. Ashby. Back to Dawson. Again, that diagonal on towards Masuaku, but just too high this time. Work wide by David Dulin. Fluke. Berami. Fabianski comes, and it's a safe take from the big Polish goalkeeper. Cresswell. As it all starts with a game against the champions for West Ham as they host Manchester City on Sunday the 7th of August. The Super Sunday game, 4:30 start for that one, before a trip to newly promoted Nottingham Forest the following Sunday. Another afternoon game on a Sunday for David Moyes' side before the first leg of the Europa Conference League playoff tie. Opponents at the moment, TBC. We'll wait and see who is set to come to London Stadium. The home fans not happy with the award of the West Ham free kick there. But a promising position. The shadow slowly working its way across the field of play here. But in the third of the field, still covered in sunshine. It's a free kick that will be taken here by Lanzini. High towards Elise. The goalkeeper Frick has missed it, and it's an easy goal. West Ham United have the lead. And it's one of the easiest goals that they will score all season long. Elise walking away with the match ball. It really could not be missed from there. It is Servette 0, West Ham United 1. Jeremy Frick came, he totally missed it, and Elise from just a couple of yards grabs himself what I'm sure will be a memorable goal. Not too much of a celebration. Elise there with the first goal of pre-season for West Ham United as we start the cooling break here. They go into it with a lead. Well, there were so many players in the box there, and it was a high ball that the experienced Jeremy Frick didn't really cover himself in glory with, the club's number one goalkeeper. An opportunity here for David Moyes to get his points across. Kevin Nolan down there as well, and a new man in the dugout this season in the shape of former QPR and Brentford boss Mark Warburton. He's having a word there at the moment, as you can see, with Said Benrahma. Player who I'm sure he knows well from their Brentford careers in the past. But West Ham ahead. A simple roll into the net for Aji Alese. So Servette will get us restarted. The Servette players that collided in that incident all okay. The physio making his way off. And it's Alise's goal that gives West Ham a 1-0 lead here in Geneva, with just under 20 minutes of this first half remaining. Servette looking to hit back here. It's with right back Moussa Diallo. Vuillo. Konya. Long-time player with nearby Lyon. Nice play, the ball in, just over the top there of Rodelin, who was coming in from that side. Diallo. West Ham defending in that solid back five. Alise just has to get down there. It's an awkward height for him as well. Coventry applying the pressure. The header doesn't reach Antonio. Stepping forward was Vuillo. Diallo. Seventeen-time winners of the Swiss League are Servette, but their best years very much behind them at the moment. Strong side in the 1970s. They were relegated from the top flight for the first time in their long history back in 2013. They went down 2 divisions, but eventually managed to get themselves back up to the top tier. They didn't finish last season well, as they went 7 without a win at the end of the campaign, leaving them down in 6th and 10 points short of the European positions. Dawson there with a tricky clearance, behind it goes. And Timothée Konya is going to take this one here. His in-swinger. It was a free header there by Rodelin. No damage done in the end, and Łukasz Fabianski hasn't had too much to do so far. down below us, pretty much all of the West Ham bench stretching off and looking like they're going to possibly come on at half-time here, the way they're going through the warm-up beneath us. You'd expect there would be big changes at the break. 45 minutes is normally the general mark. The coaches look to get the players to in the first matches back. Coventry into Cresswell. Lanzini. Masuaku put enough on that to send it further inside, so Cresswell had left it before it was cut out. Fluka. Vuillo. Into Rodelin, causing a bit of confusion. He was named as the number 12 on the team sheet, but has decided to put 23 on instead. No free kick. Lanzini. Fornals, Antonio. Benrahma again the man in the middle. Coventry is the pick out. And a free kick in a very similar position to the one that West Ham ultimately got their goal from. And they'll be hoping for the same again. With just over 11 minutes to go of normal time in this first half here in Geneva. It slipped here for Benrahma. Just couldn't quite readjust in time to send that one across before the ball had gone beyond the goal line. It's a nice ball. And a chance here for Rodelin, which he really should have done better with. Scored 4 times in the league last season. And much was expected of him there as well. Nice take on his chest. Sat up nicely for him. But in the end, the finish was wild. Ashby couldn't quite get the touch required. Antonio thought he'd kept that one alive, but in the end the assistant disagreeing. Frick has looked nervous a couple of times. No moments more so than when he came flying out of his goal and ultimately conceded from that wide free kick. Coventry. At least they looked quite at home so far alongside Craig Dawson. He has scored the only goal so far. Cresswell into Benrahma, looking to go both ways. Coventry. Cresswell. Dawson had to be careful there. Lanzini with a really good first touch to buy himself some time. Masuaku. On the bench, the likes of Kurt Zuma, Angelo Bonner, Issa Diop. Sub-goalkeepers Nathan Trott and Darren Randolph as well. Armstrong Okaflex, one of the key players for the under-23 side that is now officially the under-21s from next season. Youngsters Freddie Potts and Divin Mubama also among the substitutes this evening. I'm sure we'll get some game time at some point. Youngsters away in Portugal at the moment, so they're slightly depleted because of the needs of the first team in pre-season, as is often the case. Konya. Nice turn of pace. Fluke winning a throw, but nothing more. Berami. Ashby away. Servette with a rare chance to come forward. It was Antunes, Fluker's ball in, Dawson away. West Ham have sat back ever so slightly since scoring the goal. Maybe forced to by Servette, who knows. Either way, haven't quite got into the final third as much as they would like since that goal after 27 minutes. Rodela. He'll go for it again here. Fabianski had it covered, but Servette's starting to create one or two opportunities now. Ashby really should have got tighter to him to prevent the strike. Fabianski, though, watching it all the way wide of his left-hand post. A few West Ham fans have made the trip. Saw several of them in high spirits at Gatwick this morning. Plenty of flights out to this part of the world, and a popular spot with tourists as well, as are many of the towns and cities around the lake here. We're actually just down the road from Nyon, which is the headquarters of UEFA. Montreux on the other side of the lake, famous for its jazz festival. Plenty of walkers, hikers and skiers as well at other points during the year. But the weather at this point here in July could not be better. Dawson. And Tunes. Konya. Fluke. Bedia trying to hold off two. He's done really well, and he hits the post. Still a chance in there, and Coventry got in the way, and Konya denied another opportunity. Now Said Benrahma. Well, Antonio made the run, but Benrahma went it alone, and in the end he is the man to give away the free kick. But West Ham perhaps lucky to still be ahead. The post was well and truly rattled there. It was far too easy, has to be said there, for Chris Bedia. Signed from Belgian side Charleroi back in January. Used his strength but couldn't hit the target. Fluke. Diallo. Oh, he's hit the bar. An extraordinary effort. And the right back there very much getting the Servette fans off their seats on the far side of the ground. That was a terrific hit. No one went close to him. The ball moving all over the place. And Fabianski got fingertips. And Túnez with the flick this time. It's another corner. Just missed that there as you were watching that replay, but quickly taken in towards the near post, and on the corner of the 6-yard box, a flick header towards goal. Fabianski this time claims. Just affords his side a second or two here to regroup. West Ham having both the post and bar hit in the last couple of minutes. Benrahma asked to chase this, but the chase is over. Vuyo comes out on top. Diallo, Bedia. Looking to run, Bedia just drags that one in the end, though it did take a touch on the way through. And Servette have another corner in the final 60 seconds of this first half. Powerful striker at the beating of goal scorer Aji Elise there. Patrick Fluke is to take this in-swinger. West Ham away, can they counter quickly? Lanzini with the safe option instead. It's his free kick that helps set up the only goal of the game so far. Fornals. Ashby, who's been getting forward really well down that side. Perhaps final action of this first half as we move into 1 minute of additional time. Not a welcome reception over there on the far side, but here comes the corner in towards Dawson. Just past him. Benrahma trying to fashion the chance. That's a nice ball. Past Rodelin. Swept away by Servette. Just about time for one more chance. Diallo out. And the ball had carried, but it doesn't matter. There is the half-time whistle. A good workout in this first 45 minutes for David Moyes and his side. Plenty of possession. Managed to get forward on a number of occasions, but in the end it was quite a fortunate goal they did score. A free kick from Manuel Lanzini, wide on the right-hand side. Was met by not one, but two, even three Servette players who got in each other's way. The ball fell to Aji Elise, and the young defender able to convert from close range. No doubt plenty of changes on the way at the half-time interval. But as the first half draws to a close here at the Stade de Geneve, here in Geneva, we have a half-time score of Servette 0, West Ham United 1. Welcome back here to the Stade de Geneve. West Ham leading Servette 1-0 at the break in their first pre-season friendly. Big changes at half-time. A number of West Ham players have left at the break. We are going to get the changes officially in just a second. Or are we? No, the referee's decided no formalities. I'm not sure we've got a fourth official today, in fact, but looks like Diop's on. Kurt Zouma out there as well. Pierre Ekwa. Manuel Ongelo also starting at left back in this second half. Cresswell has gone off, so he has passed the armband on. Looks like Nathan Trott has taken the gloves in goal. We'll go through the changes in full just when we have them confirmed, but we are back underway. West Ham leading thanks to Adji Elise's goal. He is still out there. Connor Coventry still out there as well. Starting up front in this second half is Divin Mubama, the 17-year-old England youth international. Only really broke into the under-23 side towards the end of last season when he came off the bench 5 times. A good chance for him in David Moyes' first team setup here in pre-season. Sure, the top end of the field is a place that Moyes and the West Ham hierarchy would like to strengthen. Trying to poke that one past there was Longelo. In terms of Servette, they've brought on Moritz Bauer and Boris Cespedes at the start of this second half. Mubama. Man who suffered greatly due to COVID in a strange kind of way, because when the season was stopped, official reports, or maybe unofficial, depending on how you look at it, were saying that he'd scored 45 goals at youth level in that particular season, the 2019-20 campaign. A man who certainly knows where the net is. Stepping in there was Kurt Zouma. Ashby still out there at right wing back. Diop inside of him. Fornal still out there in midfield. He's now got Pierre Ekwa alongside him, the France under-20 international who has 5 caps at that level and was involved with the national side at the Toulon tournament. And 6 changes in all for West Ham at the break. So Trott in goal, Ashby, Zouma, Diop, Elise and Longelo, Ekwa and Coventry in midfield, Fornals and Ben Rama either side of Mubama. Ashby, the ball was into a good area as well. Mubama appreciated that cross into the box, but just a touch too short in the end. Zouma helping it on to Diop is Ashby. Diop. Ekwa, who just sits in front of the back four. Previously on the books of both Nantes and Chelsea before moving to West Ham. Konya, the ball taken away from him very quickly there by Diop. Zuma. Coventry. Nice ball in between the lines, and now West Ham can express themselves with Fornals. Ashby. Great ball across, it just needed the final touch there. It's been a fantastic outlet so far during this game, as Harrison Ashby. His dad Barry, a former professional as well. He's been with West Ham now since the age of 9. Has made 4 appearances for the first team. Mubama's in here. That's a great save, but on the rebound, Benrahma puts it wide. That should have been 2-0. And really, there's little excuse for it not being that scoreline. Coventry with the ball across. Mubama opened himself up. It was a fantastic save initially there by Frick, the goalkeeper. But when it came back out, Benrahma simply had to score. Zuma's header. Ekwa couldn't get there. Mubama stepping in. It's back by Diallo. Touched on there by Moritz Bauer, the Austrian. Away by Nathan Trott. He was on loan at Nancy last season in Ligue 2, the second tier of French football. Not a great campaign for him though, as he was relegated with his side. That's Benrahma, chance for 2-0, Mubama puts it in. And no denying him this time as West Ham double their lead. This young hotshot of a striker makes it count with the first team from extremely close range there. Servette looked across to an offside flag which never came. And West Ham make it 2-0. Just 7 minutes into this second half. They couldn't clear, and ultimately it was the Servette 19 that gave it to West Ham's number 19. And a memorable goal as well for Divin Mubama. The 2 youngsters on the score sheet today for the Hammers here in Geneva. And here comes Servette as they look to halve the arrears. Diallo couldn't cross before Longello got back against him. West Ham fans might remember he did make the one start against Dinamo Zagreb in the group stage of the Europa League back in December. His family have big connections with West Ham. His brother was also on the books until January before signing for Accrington. Zuma. Coventry should pick that one up. That's a lovely give and go. Ashby away again down the right. Fornals. Who had a joint career best 6 goals last season in the Premier League. Ashby. Didn't quite fall for Mubama. Nice ball forward by Fluka, who's leading the breakaway. Konya is in here. The ball's on to the right. It's over the goalkeeper and off the bar again for Servette. They've hit the woodwork 3 times now, either side of half-time. It will not go in for them. Partially unlucky. And partially just haven't been good enough in front of goal, Servette. Trott will take this. He said he didn't have a good experience last season in France, but has had a domestic loan as well, having spent the interrupted COVID 2019-20 season with Wimbledon in South London. Here come West Ham again. They want a third. They might have it as well, just beyond Benrahma. Saeed Benrahma in towards Fornals, just taken away from the Spaniard. And a clip there on Konya. Don't think we'll be seeing any yellow cards today, but it certainly would have been one had it been a competitive fixture. And he knew what he was doing as well there. Connor Coventry. Local time here in Switzerland is coming up to 7:15 this Friday evening. Just kept in there by Antunes. Konya linking it. Here comes Bauer. So no one in particular in the end. Looks like West Ham are preparing further changes here with the clock ready to hit an hour. A couple of players stripped and ready beneath us, trying to see who it is that David Moyes is talking to. Big header away there. In defence by Johan Severa. It's a wild ball forward, but one that will stay in play. Fluke, Bauer, Konya. Home fans wanted the shot to come in from Antunes. Looks like Armstrong Okaflex is going to be one of the players to be introduced here. That's a wild strike, and Trott has to parry it away. Diop able to position himself well enough there to prevent the follow-up effort being fired in from close range. Servette have a corner and they're keen to take it quickly. That initial strike from Alexis Antunes. And West Ham are now going to make those changes. First off, Saeed Benrahma making way. And also coming off here, Pablo Fornals. So Armstrong Okaflex will come on, the Republic of Ireland under-21 international. And also introduced here Dan Chesters, so two wide men coming on for West Ham. That has a very youthful front three in its attack now. Chester's only 20, but has been with the club since under-8s. Made his under-23 debut at the age of just 15, highly rated. Suma's ball flying past Elise. A reminder that West Ham are still without many of their senior players. Sofal, Soucek, Areola, Bowen, Agur, new signing. Declan Rice, Ben Johnson, Nikola Vlasic, and new signing Flynn Downs as well will all link up with David Moyes' side next week. Changes now for the hosts. Antunes coming off. Steve Rouillet, one of those to go on. Also coming on, Theo Valls. Of course, Servette don't really want to be risking anyone with that Super League opener to come against St Gallen here next Sunday afternoon. Really could not be a better day for football with the conditions we've had. Just one strip of light down the centre of the field now. It's the fans that are covering their eyes on the far side. Servette have it with Theo Valls. Rouillet, the centre half who's come on. To the arms of Trott. His West Ham career was never set to be easy. He's always had a number of senior goalkeepers ahead of him in the pecking order. Okaflex chasing this, showing his pace. Frick, the goalkeeper again taking a risk. He seems to be a goalkeeper who likes to live on the edge a little. Rodelat wins the throw. A barge from Mubama, the scorer of the second goal for West Ham, just 7 minutes into the second half. We've got just over a quarter of this one still to run. Remember, 2 more games that you can go and watch on Tuesday if you so wish. Ipswich and Boreham Wood as well, as the squad is split up. Certainly the Ipswich game should be a better test for David Moyes' side. perhaps a more experienced team will go to that one rather than the non-leaguers Boreham Wood. We'll wait and see. Okaflex. It's a really good run, Longello. Okaflex, oh, he was ready to pull the trigger. Trying to bend his run there. Konya has gone on though, and he's through here for Servette. Timothy Konya misses the target. And hammers the stanchion in frustration as well. He's already belted the advertising hoardings around the perimeter of the field. I think the groundsman will be having a word with him soon. Probably not before his manager though. He's missed two fantastic opportunities. West Ham looking a threat in attack again. The fresh legs of Longello. Obama didn't really fancy that aerial duel. Bauer. And from Rouillet. That's experience at the back for Servette, the 31-year-old. Konya. Bauer. Rodelin. Konya has gone on again. Ekwa going every step of the way with him. And at the end of it all, it is a goal kick to West Ham, much to the annoyance of the few thousand Servette fans packed in on the far side of the ground, the east stand. The West Ham travelling supporters who are behind the goal that West Ham are attacking in this second half are located in Sector X, which is decorated with stickers of away fans who have been there over the years. I'm sure there'll be one or two West Ham ones decorating the plastic walls either side of the away end following this game as well. But they've enjoyed what they've seen so far. It looks as though West Ham will emerge with the victory. Okaflex. A real live wire, and a man who could be a real asset to West Ham in the years to come. Previously on the books of Celtic and Arsenal before that. He's yet to make his debut at senior level. Did play twice last season in the EFL Trophy. Could be a competition that he looks to get some experience in again this term as well. Going to be another change for Servette. The next time we get a break in play. Bauer trying to go on, and Ashby making sure that one went behind. So, changes coming for the hosts here. Ronnie Rodelin is going to make way. Dimitri Oberlin will come on for him, signed from Bayern Munich. Also coming on, Alexandre Diaz Patricio, the 18-year-old. May have a Portuguese sounding name, but he is Swiss. Also a return as well for Miroslav Stevanovic, one of the key players in this side, but a man who hasn't had any pre-season minutes as yet. He has now. It's going to be a first touch for him here. A forward player, set up 16 goals last season, which was the most of anybody in the entire division. Flag up for offside. And it's time for a cooling break. With just over half of his second half gone, West Ham 2 goals to the good. Elise's close range finish in the first half, added to at the start of the second from Divin Mubama. West Ham sitting pretty. All of the coaching staff out to offer some words of advice here as the players come across. Just under 20 minutes left here. No doubt David Moyes will be giving his side some time off over the weekend before getting the whole squad in on Monday to really ramp up preparations for the new Premier League season. Became the first West Ham manager since John Lyall back in 1976 to take the club to a semi-final of a major European competition. Mark Warburton there alongside him now for the new season. $4,188 is the attendance here tonight. I guess the 188 or so are the West Ham fans away to our right hand side here. Surely Irons fans will be out in force for these domestic friendlies to come, and a very tasty looking one up in Scotland as well against Rangers on the 19th. Up towards Okaflex. Stevanovic away. It's it back from Dias Patricio. Zuma goes in hard, wins the challenge. Coventry going in again and penalised again by the referee. Tempo of the game just slowing slightly with all the changes that we've had in this second half. Changes that we'll be seeing plenty of in the Premier League again next season, with 5 substitutions now confirmed after a Premier League board meeting. The club's voting in the change that we saw brought in temporarily during the COVID period. So more opportunities to alter in the season to come, but like during COVID, it will be done only in 3 allotted time periods. Only stop the game 3 times aside from half time. Bauer. Diop forwards, missing towards Chesters. Trott, who has had his crossbar hit in this second half. So to make one other save as well, but it's been pretty comfortable for him apart from that. Considering that West Ham will certainly have an eye on that Europa Conference League playoff with a view to getting into the group stage that gets underway very soon into September. It's not a terrible start to the season fixture-wise. I was saying Manchester City to open, which will be a big challenge, obviously, but after that, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, Villa, and then Tottenham before the end of August. Tottenham, which should be a fantastic atmosphere, a 7:45 kick-off on a Wednesday night, a midweek round of games in the first month of the season, which is heavily extended this term because of the World Cup coming up in Qatar in November, December. Clubs returning to action just before Christmas for the League Cup, before the first round of Premier League fixtures again starting on Boxing Day. And no round of games either this year between Boxing Day and New Year, so the players should get a bit more of a rest, really. Well, I'm sure some clubs will be making use of the break to maybe go abroad and get some warm weather training in. Here come West Ham looking for a third. Okaflex trying to go on the outside. So throw in here to West Ham with just under 14 minutes to go. Coventry can't control. More changes. Timothée Cognac making way. A man who's been quite angry in this game because of the chances he's missed. Moussa Diallo, the other one coming off here. Theo Magnan going on. And the other man introduced here for Servette is Luis Ndema Mbong, the 17-year-old forward. Made his debut for the club on the final day of last season. Here's Connor Coventry, who at the moment looks as though he's going to play the full 90 here. Likewise, Harrison Ashby, who's been quite comfortable on the right-hand side, not too taxing for him really in terms of getting up and down. Hasn't really been a big threat playing off the Servette left. High, shot has come, and he's dropped it. Home fans not happy with the challenge on their player. Looks like it's Severovic who has stayed down here. But he's back up and okay. This was the challenge. Got hands on the ball. even if he did let it go in the end, Nathan Trott. He has featured for the first team competitively before, played 7 minutes in an FA Cup tie against Doncaster back in January 2021. Final 10 minutes here in Geneva. West Ham did visit Servette back in July 1987 when John Lyle's side were beaten 3-1 by the Swiss side. That one just deflecting wide as West Ham hang on to their clean sheet for now. Corner to come from Valls. Severovic with the takedown. Zuma taking it away. Bauer. Frick is on hand to take it from Rouillet. Frick puts it out of play. Ashby looking for a quick ball, but no one showing. West Ham did play at their previous home as well. Tony Cottee was on target for the Hammers. Paul Ince played in that game as well as a young substitute. In that game they eventually lost 3-1. Ray Stewart, Alvin Martin, Liam Brady, Mark Ward, Frank McAvenny, Alan Dickens and Stuart Robson also played in that game. Diop's header away. They did actually also come to the Berlin ground once back in April 1954. I can't believe there'll be too many people watching today that were at that game as well. 5-1 winners in one of the earliest Floodlit Challenge matches played at the Hammers' former home. But almost a century has gone by since West Ham's first trip to Switzerland. A 1-0 victory in Bern back in May 1924. Been back many times since then, most recently for a training camp in Bad Ragaz back in 2018. Also came in 2011. They're their only visits since 1987, but a very popular part of the world for teams to come in pre-season. Even if not always popular with the fans because of the associated costs of Switzerland, but it's all about the team at this stage. Cespedes, a Bolivia international, but formerly a Swiss youth international. Given away there to Dan Chesters. Ekwa. Certainly has presence in midfield. Just over 5.5 minutes to go here in Geneva. Okaflex offside. One of the main attractions in Geneva itself, in the city centre, is a huge water jet that cannons water tens of metres into the air, but it was turned off during COVID as a reminder to people who normally see it as part of their everyday life that COVID is still happening, and reminding people to still keep up the COVID rules that have been enforced. Shot closed down, and Servette can't take advantage. It was fired in towards goal by Oberla, the former Bayern Munich man, and shot isn't punished in the end. Got the ball away, but it soon came back. That was a clear pullback there, and again a challenge that would have been a yellow card normally. Hasn't been too much of a tricky game for this referee to manage, though. Maybe one final goal in this for West Ham. We have it with Longello. Okaflex. It's a West Ham corner. As the sun continues to beat down in that part of the pitch there, just that strip in the middle. In this very modern stadium, the facilities are excellent. Here comes the corner. Coventry deep towards Zuma, but Frick came to catch and tries to get his side forward as quickly as possible. Plenty of Servette fans starting to head for home. They've got a couple of tricky games to come near the start of the season. Trips to Basel and Sion as well, who are one of their big rivals, along with Lausanne. The Derby du Lac, or the Derby of the Lake, with Lausanne just on the other side. I'm sure there'll be a few token boats heading across for that one. Ekwa, Longello trying to get there, but gave his man an almighty shove in the process. But it looks like he has won the free kick here. Referee saw a foul on him as well. Don't think we'll be having too much added time here. Certainly not to reflect the amount of substitutions we've had, or the minute or two we had stoppage for drinks break. But Longello is going to need some treatment here. Well, the Servette fans have come to life in the last couple of minutes here. They been sitting back and enjoying the sunshine for much of this game, but a small pocket of a couple of hundred of them on the far side now making plenty of noise, you can see. Clearly big fans of Popeye. Hopefully Longello is okay over there. Getting some treatment from the West Ham medical staff at the moment. Of course the game is pretty much done anyway. They can afford for him to go off, which he will do here, temporarily at least. Connor Coventry is going to take this free kick here as we enter 3 minutes of additional time. Maybe a final chance for West Ham. It was well cleared there by Boris Cespedes, but a flag for offside came anyway. Free kick to Servette, who will feel they're unlucky not to have scored in this game, but shooting hasn't been good enough in the end. West Ham did present them with a number of chances throughout the game, notably to Timothée Cognac. But the gulf was certainly there in the first half, we saw that. And it's a very youthful West Ham side, certainly in midfield and forward areas, that is going to finish this game. Diop and Zuma holding the fort at the back and haven't been overly troubled. I think overall David Moyes will be pretty happy with the way this first pre-season test has gone. And it's got about 90 seconds to run here in Geneva. Oberlin slips it forward, Severovic won't get there, trot away. A bit more convincing in his clearance this time. Longello, who's back with us, which is good to see. Trots away again, and there is the full-time whistle from the referee. West Ham 2-0 winners here in Switzerland in their first pre-season game. There'll be some tired legs out there from a couple of the players, notably Harrison Ashby and Connor Coventry, who completed the 90 minutes, which is a credit to them. West Ham with 2 goals either side of half-time. Adji Elise converting from close range after a mix-up at the back for Servette. That was 1-0 at half-time. And then the second, shortly into the second half, was scored also from close range by substitute striker Divin Mubama, the 17-year-old, with a moment I'm sure he'll remember. The West Ham fans who have made the journey over here to Switzerland rewarded with a victory, as the players who went off in the first half go to thank them in the corner, and I'm sure those still out on the field of play will show their appreciation as well. West Ham winners here at the Stade de Geneve tonight in their first pre-season test. The full-time score, Servette 0, West Ham United 2.